We found ourselves at the bustling gates of the Honolulu airport, the very place where excitement and adventure usually begin. Yet, for me, Josie Mitchell, it was where disbelief and betrayal hit their peak. A call from my mother, typically warm and sugary in tone, set off an uncomfortable churn in my stomach. "We're here in paradise, sweetie. Why didn't you meet us at the airport yesterday?" Her casual inquiry carried the weight of deception. I stood frozen in Dallas International Airport, my heart racing alongside the rolling of luggage wheels. For months, I had been yearning for this family getaway, a much-needed respite after back-to-back meetings, stress, and the relentless hustle as a marketing executive. Finishing a crucial quarter with high-profile clients from overseas had driven me into the ground. This trip was meant to be the reward that gathered my fragmented spirit. Standing amid the airport chaos, realization dawned slowly. My parents had misled me about the flight date. When I confronted my mother on the phone with the evidence, a text confirming the 2 p.m. flight today, her nonchalance was infuriating. "Oh, sweetie, you must have misunderstood. There's no need to get upset." The prevalent truth was impossible to ignore. They didn't want me there. My sister Caroline, their golden child, had made it easily, seamlessly fitting into the holiday they had arranged carefully around her. Flashes of past family dynamics surfaced. The favoritism, the bias, the endless cycle that relegated me to the role of financial supporter and shadow chaser. With my fists clenched around the handle of my suitcase, emotions swirled within. This was no innocent error. This was a long-standing pattern of subtle yet significant rejections. Voice now firm, I declared, "This wasn't a mistake you candidly made, Mom, was it?" Silence engulfed the line before she attempted a weak dismissal. "Don't be dramatic, Josie." Words laced with dismissive undertones echoed through my mind. As I hung up, the bustling airport continued its pulsating rhythm, travelers basking in the anticipatory glow of their journeys, families embracing, their laughter ringing in stark contrast to my inner turmoil. Alone in the midst of the crowd, it wasn't merely the absence from a vacation that stung. It was the years of feeling like an outsider in my own family, a truth I could no longer overlook. I looked down at the packed suitcase loaded with dreams of sandy beaches and sunlit memories, now seemingly obsolete. But the sadness morphed quickly into a sharp, righteous anger. My contribution to my parents' life had been monumental. From the constant support post, their financial strains due to my sister's escapades to maintaining their lifestyle. Yet, when it came to recognition or meaningful engagement, my worth was merely monetary. The time had come for change. Standing there, I decided to take back control. I had spent years surreptitiously clamoring for recognition, working tirelessly in my career path to secure a prestigious executive role at a young age, all the while being the financial backbone for their expenses. Every dollar I'd sent, moment of support given, and sacrifice made seemed to have been wrapped in a blanket of oblivion in their eyes. In the weeks following, the shift in family dynamics revealed truths that were both liberating and painful. Parental relationships tainted not just with favoritism, but with deception and energetic negligence, had drained part of my life's essence. Standing steely-eyed in Dallas, a resolve blossomed, signaling the inception of a brave new chapter, where my sacrifices were mine to allocate, my life charted by the merit of self-worth and independence. My story would no longer be defined by a supporting role in an undeserving cast. Back at my apartment, the echoes of that phone call reverberated, leaving me more alone than ever. I stared down at my suitcase, feeling the potent mix of betrayal and righteous indignation morph into something unexpected. A desperate need for a change. The notion that my parents could weaponize their love to manipulate and exclude me was a bitter pill to swallow. Yet, it was also an awakening, a call to reclaim my life's direction. Josie, I pondered, had always been the dependable daughter, her existence tethered to familial expectations and obligations. Sacrificing personal dreams for parental approval seemed to be my eternal penance. But this recent slight had lit a fire within, highlighting a history of exploitation for which I had become complacently complicit. Amidst the lingering bitterness, a faint whisper of empowerment stirred. I had poured years into building a successful career, yet the accolades I collected could not fill the void created by a family's voluntary absence. Reflecting on our past interactions, I realized this was more than just a vacation, a painful reminder that my identity had long been molded by others' whims. Their excuses, thin as air, cracked under the weight of their consequences. The reality hit like an oncoming storm, electrifying yet fearful in its clarity. I could continue as a revolving door of compliance, always returning to serve, or I could step off this carousel and forge an independent path. My bank account was another reminder. Consistently bleeding to support someone else's dream, resolved, I set plans in motion. The following days were consumed with action, halting regular financial aid, withdrawing my role as the familial safety net without guilt, shifting familial responsibilities right where they belonged. The challenge now was maintaining my resolution against their inevitable backlash. As I prepared to brace myself for their response, the phone acted as the tempest's herald. First, it was my mother's guilt-laden messages that trickled in, voicemail pleas painting her as a martyr betrayed by her own flesh and blood. Then my sister, Caroline, the once doted-upon star, chimed in, rationalizing their behavior as mere oversight. But the nails in the coffin were my father's composed declarations, attempting to guilt me into resuming my dutiful role. Each message, a university lecture in emotional manipulation, was intricately crafted to rekindle old bonds of obligation and remorse. But I was unyielding, fortified by self-respect and a newfound clarity. Transcending their grasp would be my commitment to myself, the realization that professional successes could no longer compensate for personal neglect became my beacon. No longer would my role as the perennial second fiddle govern my decisions. Onward I moved, with focus and determination redirecting my life toward a place of peace, silencing the once ever-present guilt through controlled exit strategies. I ventured into hobbies long forgotten, evenings now reserved for personal growth rather than familial crisis management. Siblings' vacuous disputes and unwillingness to see my truth no longer defined my universe. They were merely passing sounds in the new symphony of self-care that played in my home. Building from my pain was akin to pouring a fresh foundation. As independence was rewoven into the tapestry of my life, the color of joy returned to my days. A trip, my own unsanctioned getaway to a yet undiscovered destination, beckoned, promising the refuge I sought not within my family, but within myself. This journey's ultimate reward was freedom itself, turning former familial fetters into footnotes of a broader, brighter narrative, one in which I held the pen. A new life, uncompromised by the expectations or needs of others, awaited in a clear horizon. I was ready to meet it head-on and with arms wide open. As time passed, the echoes of old habitual ties faded into whispers of the past, leaving a comfortable silence filled with opportunities for a brighter future. I had thought the ghost of my family's grip would linger, yet here I was, absorbing my newfound freedom, realizing how profoundly my life had shifted. With each passing day, the focus sharpened on what truly mattered, my own happiness. Breaking the chains had not just given me freedom, but also the power of choice. No longer shackled by the guilt of leaving behind familial duties, my energy was redirected into tangible goals. I reignited dreams of home ownership, a desire that lay dormant under years of financial sacrifice. The dream I had always pushed into the periphery was now firmly front and center. My career flourished, fueled by undivided attention and passion, formerly divided by divided loyalties. The promotion I had worked tirelessly for was within reach. With the burdens lifted, my potential expanded in ways I had never anticipated, allowing me to explore professional landscapes with renewed zeal. My colleagues noticed the transformation, their congratulations and support further emboldening my sense of self-worth. On weekends, I embraced adventure, discovering nature hikes and pursuing painting classes, pastimes I'd forsaken in my constant quest to be the good daughter instead of a fulfilled individual. These experiences replenished my soul, painting colors back into a life that had run dry from years of obligation. No longer was I tethered by the expectations of others, finding joy in the simplicity of my own company. Connections that mattered were nurtured, friendships long overshadowed by family dramas were rekindled with authenticity. In nurturing these authentic relations, I found solace in shared laughter that echoed with genuine meaning, affirming the decision to choose those who truly valued me. Within this newfound comfort, I let borrowed dreams fall to the wayside, embracing paths that resonated deeply with my aspirations. The turning point was a trip, a journey not born from necessity, but from pure, unbridled choice. Standing on the edge of discovery, I felt the whisper of ocean breezes in Maui, a place dreamt of during so many sleepless nights of longing. My heart was full, every beat reaffirming the truth that I alone was the architect of my destiny, no longer begrudgingly molded by another's desires. The Hawaiian sunset painted the sky with promises of new beginnings, each hue reflecting the vibrant spectrum of opportunities on my horizon. Amidst the kaleidoscope of experiences, my phone remained void of the incessant demands it once knew. Instead, messages offered words of encouragement, the echoes of freedom visible in every touchpoint with supportive, understanding voices. In the absence of conflict, I discovered how liberating life could truly be, a peace I never believed possible, punctuating even the simplest moments. In time, I reconciled with bits of my past, offering tentative surrenders to hurt and old wounds. I understood that forgiveness doesn't always follow the linear paths laid out by others, nor does reconciliation always come with the opening of closed doors. Instead, it resides in gentle acceptance of one's own journey and the freedom to move beyond. Standing firm in my resolve, I embraced each morning with renewed vigor, waking not just to begin a day, but to live it fully. Life unfurled like sails catching wind for the first time in open waters. My story was now written without margins, my world vivid and untamed. In living for myself, I found the peace I'd long denied, crafting a tapestry rich with experiences, dyed with colors of resilience and truth. This was my life, no longer tethered by expectations unmet and roles undeserved. It was mine to shape and live fully, where dreams were pursued unchained and triumphs celebrated for their own sake. Here, in the golden glow of this newfound existence, I claimed my place, my peace, and my happiness, ready for a future solely authored by me. Weeks turned into months, and the serenity of my newfound independence enveloped me in a warm embrace. No longer haunted by past grievances, I savored the present's quiet strength, embodying my resolve. Each action I took affirmed my decision to prioritize personal happiness over the toxic bonds that once held me captive. Home ownership, a dream deferred for so long, was now closer than ever. Weekends turned into joyous expeditions to open houses and home decor stores, fueling a vision realized through diligence and foresight. Achievements that were profoundly mine, born from uncompromising dedication to self-made paths, not predicated on dutiful obligations. In my professional sphere, the transformation mirrored my personal metamorphosis. The success and recognition once shadowed by familial entanglements now stood fully acknowledged, pushing me towards new career heights. The promotion confirmed was more than an acknowledgement of hard work. It was a testament to the power of directing energy into pursuits that nurtured my spirit and enhanced my well-being. This change empowered a vitality that reverberated through each project, meeting and innovation birthed from renewed creativity, life filled with moments of pure joy, a gallery opening visit, an insightful conversation, an exhilarating yoga session. These experiences bolstered the foundation of a life lived authentically, no longer diluted by perpetual sacrifice. Every sunrise brought with it a promise of unexplored potential, waiting to be woven into the fabric of my evolving narrative. Concurrently, relationships of substance blossomed in the absence of recurring familial dramas. Friendships fostered on mutual respect and unwavering support flourished, replacing shadows of the past with a newfound depth. With each shared moment, trust rebuilt its roots firmly within a circle of loving companionship, unveiling a network of connections that felt equally honored and cherished. Yet acknowledging freedom meant confronting the remnants of old burdens. I took deliberate steps to mend fractured ties, not through regression, but recalibration, realigning boundaries with those who would remain within my life under mutually respectful terms. It required patience, introspection, and openness, elements necessary for healing, albeit at my pace. One relationship, in particular, sought mending, a connection with Caroline, my sister whose trajectory had once overshadowed my own. Her entreaties, once dismissed, now held earnest requests rooted in understanding rather than assumption. Over several tentative conversations, we unearthed shared experiences buried beneath years of competition and misunderstanding. Accepting these scars opened doors to compassion and empathy, fostering an evolution within our bond that, although tentative, emerged with the promise of genuine connection. Amidst these unfolding revelations, closure with my parents demanded a systemic reorientation. Though they had attempted restitution through legally binding obligations, emotional reconciliation remained far more nuanced. Forgiveness transformed into acceptance, a release that acknowledged harm, yet severed its lingering influence over my present life. One particular evening, I found myself reflecting on this intricate journey of renewal on the balcony of my independent sanctuary. The peace, interrupted only by the cool breeze swaying through the trees, prompted reflection upon the tumultuous path that had led to this moment of calm autonomy. As moonlight cast silk shadows, it painted a reminder. Individual happiness often required difficult choices, yet the harvest yielded was sincere and fulfilling. The following morning, an invitation arrived from my Aunt Rose, suggesting a family gathering at her home. Hesitant yet hopeful, I decided to engage in this opportunity, not as an excuse to mollify bygones, but to affirm new perspectives within a changed dynamic. Upon arrival, the familiarity of Rose's warm hug tempered my apprehension, offering encouragement amidst the coy trepidation of reuniting with my family on new terms. While the initial exchanges sported hints of discomfort, a willingness to listen softly permeated the atmosphere. My parents, once stalwart symbols of manipulation within my mind, appeared changed, grounded by humility and perhaps a touch of regret. Their acknowledgement of past actions spoke volumes, revealing glimpses of shared growth. Meanwhile, Caroline conducted herself with newfound insight, reciprocating dialogue enriched by honesty and courage. Such engagements, while far from heralding a flawless repair, encapsulated the potential for coexisting narratives of love, apology, and future reconciliation. For me, the gathering symbolized reclamation, not just of personal ideals, but of the familial roots that once bore toxicity, yet now offered the promise of healthier growth. As I bade farewell to Rose, the formulation of a new legacy reshaped itself within my heart. A legacy no longer mired in complacency, but vibrant and dynamic, adapted through resilience and learning. It was a culmination of journeys walked solo and shared, a balance of independence and connectedness harmoniously entwined. Stepping into the clear night, I reveled in the dance of the stars above, each celestial being tracing the path of complete autonomy. The essence of life, both solitary and intertwined, echoed its song through the cosmos, reminding me of the infinite possibilities within open skies. In truth, freedom wasn't the absence of connection, but rather the ability to choose it unreservedly and wholly. As stars resumed their disruptive brilliance against the inky vastness, the surface of my reflecting heart glistened in anticipation of underlying adventures. This was the masterpiece of existence, truthfully embraced, vivid, complex, endlessly adorned. The passage of time had nourished resilience from seeds once buried in fertile determination. And so, life's complexities wove intricate patterns, blending moments of personal triumph with occasional echoes of familial intersections. The tapestry of my journey, flawed yet beautiful, resonated powerful lessons of strength, independence, and renewal. Having carved space for my own peace, every choice I made echoed a narrative of empowered autonomy. Each morning carried with it an invitation to greet possibilities with open arms, free from constraints that once determined the trajectory of my reality. New awakenings were punctuated with pristine hope, void of shadows cast by conditional obligations, that rather illuminated a life rich in authentic, self-crafted contentment motivated by adventure. I ventured into uncharted territories at work, launching initiatives that had blossomed in imagination and determination. Cultivating an environment vibrant and inclusive, unbound by conventional confines, the essence of my professional self expanded and matured, unveiling depths previously unexplored. My colleagues and superiors, inspired by my dedication, reciprocated with steadfast support that mirrored the powerful waves of encouragement I now waded through. Hobbies unearthed once dormant talents. Canvas and color became voices that expressed unspoken emotion. Trails and mountain paths disclosed nature's quiet wisdom. Each brushstroke, every footstep whispered future's promise, rendering past limitations insignificant. Embarking on vivid journeys, both external and internal, I discovered truths that tethered my world in meaningful ways. The rhythm of daily life, fluid yet harmonious, intertwined elements of solitude with tightly woven connections rooted in mutual respect. Authentic friendships, built on shared trust and laughter, flourished as beacons of solidarity, in knowing that sincerity fostered inherent joy. Here, companionship was virtuous, derived from aligned spirits seeking growth free of pretense or ulterior motives. Within this tapestry of interwoven moments, the narrative of reconciliation with familial ties unfolded deliberately yet thoughtfully. Caroline, having embraced an open, receptive stance, emerged as a partner in weaving new threads of sibling camaraderie. Traded stories and shared vulnerabilities nourished a bond redefining shared experiences in light rather than shadow. My parents, guided by reflections of regret and reconciliation, humbly initiated dialogues of empathy. Honest acknowledgments of past missteps marked a series of burgeoning realities. While efforts to cultivate sincere relationships existed in nascent stages, they demonstrated willingness to move forward. Such exchanges represented a linear yet momentous progression towards a horizon where the independence of autonomy intersected with connective growth. In celebrating milestones, small gestures celebrated the transformative journey upon which I had embarked. Flowers lavish in hue sat upon my polished kitchen table, tokens of pristine beauty symbolizing graceful resilience. Tranquil evenings, dedicated to introspection and self-care, provided space for reflection and reverence. Oil lamps cast gentle glows over cozy reeds, obscuring the line between comfort and dreams as nightfall danced softly through an open window. Futures, untethered and infinite in potential, beckoned with the gentle strength of the setting sun. A horizon illuminated by reflections of past decisions adorned with joyful resolutions. The contours of tomorrow's canvas shimmered with promising narratives ripe for painting. Each step forward celebrated a self-created future unscripted by the tentative echoes of the past, but inspired by lessons truthfully embraced. Realization dawned, brilliantly illuminated, that freedom was not the absence of bonds, but redefined choice, a revelation that invited life's grandeur to dance unrestrained through serendipitous smiles. The path each day glittered with colors formed by resilience, guided by authenticity and nurtured by belonging. Harmony of self, restored and buoyant, sang radiant anthems beneath the constellation-kissed night sky. Through echoes of persistent laughter shared over bright city sidewalks and entire landscapes whispered scenery only I could manifest. Distance from my past, both geographical and emotional, had woven chrysoles of time into wings vibrant and unrestrained, propelling each day's journey further. As starlit skies witnessed steadfast intentions, I stood firm in identity, both claimed and nurtured, exuding confidence and grace. Radiant expanses stretched out, inviting further ventures with intertwined steps grounded in strength. The brilliance of every present moment illustrated boundless potential realized through dreams brought to life by genuine freedom. This equilibrium between freedom and connection, longing and fulfillment, represented a symphony performed by harmonies of a heart unbound. As the vista before me unfurled to reveal its marvels, its echoes whispered promises of stories yet to be written and legacies crafted by love, resilience, and newfound serenity.